Hey guys, a little bit of a random video for today. Last night while I was at work, I was listening to the latest episode of the Jurassic Park podcast, number 267, and I was really excited about this one because it featured, the main feature of the episode is the Jurassic Wire, the March of 2021 edition. The Jurassic Wire is a section hosted by Aaron Beyer and Brad Jost, who created the Jurassic Park podcast, and they usually release this each month and talk about stuff the fandom's talking about, latest news, all that sort of stuff. It's actually one of my favourite things to come out of the fandom each month. I really look forward to listening to it, and we hadn't had an episode of it since last October, so I was really excited about this one. However, whenever I listen to The Wire, there's always moments where like they'll say something and I'm like, I get that urge, and every now and then I get this when I listen to fan stuff, but like I get that urge where I just feel like I really want to just jump into the conversation and add a little like caveat of like, well, you're missing this point, or yeah, you know, oh yeah, that's true, and all this, that, and the other. Like, because they've got such great chemistry that I really want to jump in and join the conversation. And sometimes my name gets brought up because they talk about stuff about canon and all that sort of thing. And usually I like message them on WhatsApp or something if I have something to say. But this time I was listening to it last night and they said something that actually got me triggered. I was like, oh no, I'm actually like, oh, I want to talk about this really badly. But instead of actually messaging them, I actually figured I would make a video so I can actually go through some points here. Now, I'm not saying Aaron and Brad are wrong or anything like that. It's just it's just some little details I think that they're overlooking that I wanted to address and actually bring up here. So I'm sorry, Brad and Aaron, for this video, but you got me triggered. But yeah, so for context, I'm 45 minutes, 27 seconds into the episode, and I'm just going to click play because I want to give you guys some context. They're talking about the E750 tease at the end of season 2 of Camp Cretaceous, and for those of you who know me on the channel, you know my thoughts on Camp Cretaceous. I'm not going to go into this video isn't like to defend Camp Cretaceous or anything really, but well, we'll discuss it as we go. But to give you guys context, they're talking about the E750, the fact that it's a high, apparently rumored to be, I have no idea, even though I'm part of the Jurassic family, I don't know anything about Camp Cretaceous, meant to be a new hybrid, and they're sort of about to start discussing the timeline of when the this E750 was created. So they've just got off the tail end of the conversation where they're talking about why was this thing frozen. So here you go, let's listen to this. And then I'll pause it, and then I'll make my points as we go.
No scientist, so I have no clue what that means. But it just makes me wonder why. Why is there something under some sort of freezing conditions in here? What sense does that make at all? Can you dive into that? Do you have any idea why something would be frozen?
Why are you asking me? I don't like the mutant dinosaurs. I like this for the one. I like the Indominus Rex because it was a cool plot point for one movie. I'm done with them. Well, I mean, there's a Doctor Who Christmas special where they cryogenically freeze a woman every year for like 100 years, and she's not in water. Like when she steps into it, it just like puff of smoke and she freezes kind of thing. Yeah. So like there doesn't have to be water in this because there's no water on the floor from what I can tell.
Well, actually,
I've just realised that I've maybe gone a little bit too far back, but I'm curious about the cryogenically frozen aspect of the E750, just because obviously it's quite tropey. It's like, oh, this thing is thawed. It's like they've broken the machine. It was being kept on ice. I don't know if season 3 will address it at all, why it was frozen on ice, other than that, it's a cool, I don't know, prototype hybrid or something like that got out. But that's not really the issue I wanted to bring up, but I just thought I'd add that in because I've actually rewound a little bit further than I expected. But here we go. We'll continue.
The poster actually, I believe, has water on the ground, but the poster's a little bit different than what you see here. Like the canister thing is all beat up and broken, and this is not. It's just the glass is cracked. So it could be a little bit different than what we're seeing here. But yeah, I have no idea what that means for whatever this creature is. Like, why would you put something on ice, no matter how it's frozen? Water, air, whatever. Why would something be on ice? Like, I don't understand why that would make any sense, unless you're just keeping it for studying it at a later point? Like, is he busy that day or something? I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
See, what's so in the timeline's weird too.
Here we go. They're going into the timeline now.
Because the Indoraptor is easy. It was however many years after Jurassic World, and Wu developed the Indoraptor, and he only could develop one, and he needed Blue to like quickly get it to the stage it needed to be, or like round 2, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, they needed Blue's DNA because they basically wanted to have because Blue shows sign of empathy and she was highly intelligent. They basically wanted to utilize Blue's genes and her makeup to create a batch of Endoraptors, which were a little bit less aggressive, maybe, and they needed their mother because that's what Wu says. It needs a mother. Like they needed that bond, and that's something from the original book actually mentioned about the parenting of raptors. Even though I know they have the whole cannibalism aspect of that as well, but in Fallen Kingdom, it's meant to be that the Endoraptor's too unpredictable, so they want Blue for that.
With this thing was born, or well, I guess we don't know when the Indominus Rex was born because we don't know how fast it aged. But
so that was a point I wanted to add. We do know when the Indominus Rex was born. We wrote it on Mazrani Global, and this is one of the aspects that I wanted to just quickly touch upon. So if we hack into the back door, Indominus, help, timeline, and then write in 2012. I don't know how well you guys are going to see that on here, but let's zoom in. Here you can see Indominus Rex hatched, timeline 2012. The Ibris project begins development. So there you go. Now I just want to add another little thing here because we did originally have it as 2009 when the Indominus hatched, and we had to change that because of notes from Colin and the teams that the date. We originally just put 2009 because we figured that would be a good age, but then we were told actually no. In the idea it was 2012. So the Indominus, what was it 2012, 13, 14, 15? It was about 3 years old in Jurassic World by the time we got around there. So it is out there, that information.
if you use Bumpy by any stretch of the imagination, the Indominus Rex went from egg to that size in a couple of days, which like.
So no, not in a couple of days. It took 3 years. Bumpy's acceleration of growth is ridiculous in comparison to what the movies show, especially from when he don't know what it is, but like hatched, and then to be like that one they see like a day later or something. But no one should be comparing Bumpy to the growth of any of the other dinosaurs in the movies, but that's what they're going to go into here, and that's what got me triggered.
The show is problematic, man. Is problematic.
All right, so
I agree. Cam Cretaceous is problematic.
So
bums me out.
So Bumpy is like not full adult, right? By the end of season 2, it's more of like a juvenile, but like almost near adult size or whatever. I guess pretty much adult.
But
size.
the Indominus Rex was the same way. They were like,
gonna
get bigger.
So what I was saying, it's true. So like, Bumpy.
So as Aaron just said, the Indominus was the same way. They mentioned it's going to get bigger. Yes, in Jurassic World, it's still not fully grown. That's why they had to build the paddock bigger. But it didn't take a few days like Bumpy. It took years for the Indominus to grow. But as Wu says, they inserted cuttlefish genes to help her with an accelerated growth rate. The Indominus did have accelerated growth rate to promote growth. Yeah.
He was a baby.
More on that in a minute.
And then like 6 days later or so, Bumpy is, this size, like a smaller size, but half human size or whatever. And then 2 months later, so it's a full 2 months before Bumpy is adult-ish size. So that maybe that could give you an idea as far as the Indominus, I guess.
We don't when he's doing when they do the gag where he keeps making the hut and Bumpy keeps stealing it. Mm-hmm. I forget, what size is Bumpy there?
Small, like not baby,
He's
but
smaller?
like medium size, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like the rapid aging stuff. Like, even prior to Jurassic World, when you just even look at Jurassic Park, right? And they have a full-grown T-Rex.
Yeah.
And you look at the logistics, I want to say, on a something like DPG or Misrani Global or whatever like that, right?
This is why I felt like I should address this, because they are talking about the viral marketing websites here.
I feel like they had to age the T-Rex super fast because of a website like Misrani Global exists. Like, in the canon of the movie itself, it doesn't matter. The T-Rex could have been born 6 years prior to that.
Okay, keep that in mind. So, Dinosaur Protection Group. So he is. I get the point Aaron's getting to. He means, like, it doesn't matter how old the T-Rex is in the first film. That's not the point. It could have been born. It could have been born 10 years before, and I get that. That's completely fine. But if we're talking about what's actually like considered canon, I believe if I go to reports, is it on Adopt a Dino? That's where it is. I think they also do. Wrote it in the reports, but Adopt a Dino, big in. Let's pick T-Rex. And it says 30 years old. So the Tyrannosaurus was 30 years old in 2018. So let's do a bit of math here. 30 years back, 2018. That is 1988 is when she was born. So 1988, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. So the T-Rex, not 6 years old, but 5 years old in Jurassic Park, according to the canon. If my math's up to speed.
It doesn't really matter in context of the film because there's no like stagnant date in
That's true.
that movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's only the only reason you have to introduce rapid aging is because you have things like websites and other canonical sources like kind of needing that to be the case so that they can create new monsters every movie. You know.
See, I do not agree with that line of logic. The accelerated, well, we'll get more onto it in a minute. The accelerated growth stuff has a long history in Jurassic Park.
And I don't like that. Like, as we start introducing these really crazy sci-fi things, it takes away the thing from Jurassic World, which I love, which is a zoo. You know, they're not pumping these animals full of crazy aging serum at the zoos. You know, baby animals sell tickets.
Yeah, that's
So yes, baby animals sell tickets. The point of the story of Jurassic World is that the Indominus was created because of focus groups, because they were overreaching. The park was successful. It was doing really well. I might need to make a specific misconception video on this very point, because this is all I hear people complain about. Not people in the fandom, not always Aaron or Brad or anyone like that, but there's a lot of other people who complain about this, and it's always something I get brought up. Now, obviously, I don't want to debate Aaron's opinion here about preferring zoo over the scientific stuff of Jurassic Park, but it does surprise me that they didn't take into account version 4.4 from the Jurassic Park novel, where Wu is confronting Hammond about the dinosaurs, and here's what they have to say here. And I might actually just skip ahead to the relevant part. So,
but Henry, these are real dinosaurs. You said so yourself. I know, Wu said, but we could easily breed slower, more domesticated dinosaurs. Domesticated dinosaurs? Hammond snorted. Nobody wants domesticated dinosaurs, Henry. They want the real thing. But that's my point, Wu said. I don't think they do. They want to see their expectation, which is quite different.
Basically, the Indominus Rex. Obviously, this chapter of the book is used as big inspiration for the scene when Masrani Global approaches... Simon Masrani approaches Wu in the labs after the Indominus has killed the ACU team. This is the direct inspiration for that scene.
Hammond was frowning. You said yourself, John, this park is entertainment, Wu said, and entertainment has nothing to do with reality. Entertainment is antithetical to reality. Hammond sighed. Now, Henry, are we going to have another one of those abstract discussions? You know I like to keep it simple. The dinosaurs we have now are real, and... Well, not exactly, Wu said. He paced the living room, pointed to the monitors. I don't think we should kid ourselves. We haven't recreated the past here. The past is gone. It can never be recreated. What we've done is reconstruct the past, or at least a version of the past, and I'm saying we could make a better version. Better than real? Why not, Wu said. After all, these animals are already modified. We've inserted genes to make them patentable and to make them lysine-dependent. And we've done everything we can to promote growth and accelerate development into adulthood. Hammond shrugged. That was inevitable. We didn't want to wait. We have investors to consider. Of course. But I'm just saying, why stop there? Why not push ahead to make exactly the kind of dinosaur that we'd like to see?
So there we go. So basically, you know, I don't want to poo-poo on Aaron's taste here of saying that he prefers if Jurassic Park lent to the zoo side rather than the sci-fi. But the point I'm making is Jurassic Park is the very story, and the backbone of the story is a science fiction sort of path. Like, it's what it's following down. So the Indominus Rex, the promotion of growth before to get the dinosaurs out in the park as quickly as possible, all that sort of stuff is exactly what, well, it is Jurassic Park. It's been there from the beginning. So I can understand if someone doesn't like that, but it does make me question why when that's the very thing that Jurassic Park is. But you know, each to their own. So when he says that it seems to, well, he's sort of alluding to the fact that it's sort of come out of nowhere. It's like, no, it's been there right from the beginning. But I don't know if Aaron, if you want to reach out, if you've known that information already, and then you know, let me know.
That's an interesting point for the park, though. Yeah, would they have some, like, is this like, hey, I want Boba Fett to not age rapidly. You know, I want him to age at a normal pace, or you know, like, dude. So can they choose? They should be able to choose.
No,
I mean,
because Trevorrow has already Trevorrow confirmed via Twitter, but like really, like even in Dominion, no, not Dominion. What was the last one? Fallen King.
They can choose. They could have the dinosaurs without accelerated growth, but they choose to do so because the idea is that the demand, they want to get this, like the original park and Jurassic World, they want to get these things to the public as quickly as possible, because there's a, well, I mean, with the Indominus, the demand came from further potential sponsors and also focus groups, saying that, you know, oh, we're bored of dinosaurs, we want something different. And they were the vocal minority because obviously, as we see in Jurassic World, the entire park is hugely successful. But yeah, they do have a choice. It's just they make the wrong choice, which is give them accelerated growth.
Yeah.
And Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous took that to the absolute extreme, which has seemed to be in this podcast, has jolted Aaron and Brad into thinking that, you know, that's how quick the Indominus was grown.
We see that the animals are having live birth, and he was like, oh yeah, he was like, you know, Jurassic World's, they're not all made at this point. Like Jurassic World has a breeding program like zoos, modern day zoos have.
Yes, that's true. That is all true. But the Indominus was designed, not bred naturally.
So,
which is the dinosaur in question, you know, the hybrid. But
it wasn't like they were all these eggs being produced over on Sorna or whatever, or in a lab. They had a breeding program for, I would imagine, for some of their older species. You know, but I mean, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all pretty interesting though. I've never thought of it that way. Like with,
it's
like
interesting.
Well, it just makes it all very convoluted and annoying, to be honest. But
it's really, yeah, it's really crazy. Yeah.
But
it doesn't make it convoluted and annoying. It's just you need to recognize that the dates on the website line up perfectly with the ages of the dinosaurs, and the accelerated growth stuff is an idea and is a sort of plot point that's been introduced ever since the original book. So you can tell I was like, oh man, I was like, why are these guys saying this? No.
But interesting in the way of like, from a theme park perspective, like if you are rapidly growing these things to put on display, you're right. Like, why would you? Like, you would just have it on display for 6 days and then it's a big dinosaur.
In Bumpy's case, yeah, that seems to be the case. It would be within 6 days. It would be Bumpy took months to get the size that it got in the end of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous season 2. My word, that title. But obviously going from the little baby hatchling to this like almost juvenile one seemed a bit ridiculous. So in Bumpy's case, yes, but for the dinosaurs in the movies, no.
Or do they not? I don't know.
Well, this thing was frozen at the time of the Indominus Rex attack. So this thing was created at the same time or before the Indominus Rex?
Or after, if it's 2000. If you knew it was 2012 when the Indominus was born, this thing could have been born after the Indominus. But the thing is, we don't know the context of this thing until we see Camp Cretaceous season 3. So, to me, they're dwelling in just pure speculation, but acting as if they know that this thing was born on the same time or before. I could be wrong. They could announce that it was and completely undercut the Indominus being the first hybrid. They could retcon that for those who consider Camp Cretaceous canon. I could be eating my words, but as far as I'm aware, that's probably not going to happen.
And then
you're
like it's likely it's not going to happen.
Right. So that does it
like
is
frozen. So the Indominus Rex isn't the first hybrid that Jurassic World created. So this is potentially more dangerous than the Indominus Rex, but they were like super afraid of the Indominus Rex. Like, man, it's just so too much on this. They really have to branch out, and I can't wait for Dominion to branch out so that we can get extended stories hopefully later. Because right now we're confined to this small timeline in a very small location. And I can't wait for that to kind of not be the case.
I agree with Aaron right there. That point there that he made. I don't know what that has to do with the Indominus not being as scary as this new thing, because one we haven't seen what this new thing can do, and two, I don't think anyone finds Camp Cretaceous scarier than Jurassic World. So I don't really get that point, Aaron. Sorry, but the rest of it I completely agree with.
Man, that is so convoluted. You're right. Like the whole what age is what at this point, because
it diminishes this to me now. Like I wasn't even thinking this before. This diminishes the Indominus Rex, does it not? The accomplishment of the Indominus Rex.
Well, that depends on the context, Aaron. That depends on if they retcon the Indominus Rex. But I don't think it does, because I don't consider Camp Cretaceous canon, so they can do whatever they want. It doesn't bother me. I would say that the bigger crime in this would be Ben taking on Toro with a stick, and like the whole jumping out of an explosion, riding an Ankylosaurus while putting hand sanitizer on his hand. I think that breaks everything canonically, rather than the fact that there's what seems to be another hybrid that was kept secret, in the basement of Jurassic World, which we actually have no idea what the backstory is for this thing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
My personal opinion is I think that it's a stepping stone between the Indominus and the Endoraptor, and it probably was a failed experiment, but we wanted to keep it on ice for further research. That's my prediction. So to me, and it was like probably grown sort of between or just after the Indominus was born, sometime around there, or after maybe they saw the Indominus eat its sibling, and they realized that, hey, this might actually be something that we can make smaller and all that sort of stuff, when Vic Hoskins started to get involved with Woo. But that's my prediction, which wouldn't break the Indominus, in my opinion. Because the Indominus, the Endoraptor, and whatever this thing is, I feel like they're all going to be. It's all well. The Indominus and the Endoraptor are all tied together in the story of the films. You know, as these guys, as Brad and Aaron point out later in the podcast, you know, you see the smaller Indominus on the screen. It's like that's what they're trying to get to, and then Fallen Kingdom wraps up that story for the hybrid because we see like what their we see a prototype of what their ultimate goal is. Because the Indominus wasn't their ultimate goal; it was just them testing hybridization and then using the theme park as a means of doing some testing without any testing in. What's the saying? It's like they're doing everything in broad daylight, but no one can actually see what's actually going on. Daylight, it's like daylight robbery. It's like they've been testing in secret on what the makeup of the Indominus is to do testing for see if that it works, and then they're going to scale it down, and they're looking at Owen's Raptor program to see if they can make it trainable, and then that's when they realize they need blue, and that's the Fallen Kingdom plot. But I feel like this thing, my guess is this thing is like a failed attempt between the Indominus and the Endoraptor that was really early on in the stages, but not before the Indominus.
The Indominus Rex, you know, there was two, right? So this one, the Indominus that we see, you know, killed its sibling, right? And then we'll say 2 months, 3 months later, this thing is adult size and it's in that captivity. And, you know, we could give or take, but like, I don't know. What stage is this thing that we see? You know, what stage is this? I don't know. Oh,
I need to rewind that.
You know, we could give or take.
Does it not? The accomplishment of the Indominus Rex.
I just need to go back because I think Brad said something there about the Indominus. I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. The Indominus Rex, you know, there was two, right? So this one, the Indominus that we see, you know, killed its sibling, right? And then we'll say 2 months, 3 months later, this thing is adult size and it's in that captivity. And, you know, we could give or take.
So that's the problem because they don't know the date as 2012 when it was born, and then 2015 is when we're seeing it in Jurassic World. We just don't know when it ate the sibling, and anything like that. So we don't know the exact timeline of how big the Indominus grew. But obviously there's 3 years there, so I would hazard a guess that it took a good time to get to the size we saw it in Jurassic World. It wasn't just like 2 or 3 months and it's like the size we saw it in the movie.
But like, I don't know. What stage is this thing that we see? You know, what stage is this? I don't know. Oh, I mean, based off of that pipe, you know, that thing that it was in, the container, it is small. It is.
I'm probably going to stop this here because I don't know if I have much else to say. But yeah, anyway, guys, I know it's been a bit of a random video. Sorry again to Brad and Aaron for singling you out, but I was listening to this podcast and I love the Jurassic Wire, but I was like, I need to address this. It'll make for an interesting video and hopefully maybe spark some interesting discussion. So hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want any more Jurassic Park content. And be sure to catch my live streams every Friday, 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. And I will catch you guys around. See you later.